I'm just sitting here laughing and I genuinely can't believe I've never shared this story on social media. But do you guys want to hear about one of the most iconic worst dates ever? So I matched with this guy on Hinge and he's like, hey, let's go get brunch and then spend the afternoon at the beach. Which I'm like, that's so perfect. It's like casual and easy and yeah, it'll be great. I'm in. So I meet this man for brunch, and when I sit down, he's sitting across from me at this kind of like shared table situation. And instantly I'm like, oh, like he's kind of cute. Like we have lots of things in common. We're chatting. And then this is where it gets a little weird. So on his side of the table, it's like a long bench style seating. And this woman walks up and sits down at the other end of the table. And I immediately feel her listening ears come on. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's kind of around you and you can tell that they're listening to your conversation. And so I was like, I'm picking up on this, but I'm just going to focus on me and my date and continue our conversation. Well, about halfway through the brunch, this woman leans over and she goes, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've totally been listening to your conversation. I'm like, yeah, girl, I know. And she's like, and I have some ideas. Can I share them?
Hell no. My answer would have been a quick no. I mean, I would still try and be kind and gentle, especially in front of a man that could potentially turn out to be my husband or a lifelong partner or whatever. I would still try and be kind, but this is not a situation where you should fear being inappropriate because the person approaching you is the one being inappropriate. She should have thought about it before she did it. She would have already accepted the possibility of getting rejected or getting turned away when she did something so daring. So I would have said, oh, I'm sorry, but this is our first date. I don't think this is appropriate. That's it, with a smile. And I'm sure she's going to feel weird even if she decides to ignore that and still carry on and say what she has to say. She will still feel uncomfortable to some degree, unless she's totally shameless, which is also a possibility since she did this much already. But I would have refused. I would have said no. I would have blocked the door, because how can you interrupt me in the middle of a first date? It's not even the second, third, fourth. I don't even know this person. I'm getting to know them myself, and try and come and make it a group conversation.
No. And my date's like, oh, sure, go ahead. Red flag, kind of.
Well, the fact that he said go ahead and that he allowed her to talk isn't a red flag in my book. I don't think he did that out of spite or to be mean to you or because he wanted to ruin the date or have this person interrupted. He just did it to try and be polite and try to be on his best behavior in front of his date, who's you after all, because perhaps if he told her off or sent her away, you would have sympathized with her as a woman.
So she starts talking through the whole conversation that me and my date had at that time, and telling me and him, mostly him, her ideas. So at this point, I'm like, okay, he's just like being polite. Like, I get it. What do you really say in that situation? So like, all's well, except for the fact that she never stopped talking and he never stopped talking to her. So they continue the conversation. And at one point I'm sitting across from them and like, I literally am like, wow, my jaw's on the table right now. I can't believe my date just got hijacked. One, he's letting this happen. Two, and that a woman would do this. Like that girl knows what she's doing. Like our conversation was obviously first date kind of vibes.
So again, I did not blame the guy for having not sent her away or having rejected her right off the bat, but I'm gonna, of course, blame him for carrying on and continuing to talk to her and fully ignoring his date. That's clearly impolite. That is making his date, this girl that's telling us the story, very uncomfortable, and it's making her feel awkward and weird and like a third wheel when it's literally her date that just got hijacked. The guy should have been more sensitive and considerate in this case. And yes, I do blame him for entertaining this perfect stranger.
She was sliding in, but it gets worse. As we're sitting there, he mentions how he stopped using shampoo and using an alternate method to wash his hair. So he hasn't actually used store-bought shampoo in a long period of time. Brace yourself for this one. She goes, oh, can I smell your hair? And puts her hand on his shoulder. And he's like, yeah, sure. Leans over. She takes a big whiff and goes, oh my God. And then leans in, takes another big whiff, one of those, and then goes, oh, you smell so good.
This is too funny. This is too much for me. I can't believe this. If this would have happened to me, I don't even know what I would have done. I would probably be laughing. Like I would be in tears laughing. I would be, it's too funny. It's hilarious. It's almost unreal. At the same time, now I'm laughing because it didn't happen to me. But if I was, let's say, interested in the slightest in this guy, and this girl just decides to come and interrupt us and start touching him and doing these weird things, I wouldn't be laughing. I would be very annoyed. And if provoked, I can be a mean girl. I would have said something. I would make a petty comment or tell them, do you need me to book you a hotel room nearby? Do you want me to pay for a cab for you two to go home together? I would have said something knowing myself, and I would put on a very calm and serious face. I would make a big deal out of it. I wouldn't make it sound like I'm offended or making a joke. I'd be very serious. I say, no, I'm serious. Please. Don't be shy. No way. There's no way this is going to happen on my watch. I'm not going to be on a first date with a man and I dressed up. I'm taking time out of my day. I showed up. I'm on my best behavior, and this guy is just going to give this perfect stranger that decided to impose a chance, and he's going to meet possibly his future bride on a first date with me. It's beyond unfair and unjust.
Sniffs him a third time and then proceeds to say, do you know what this means? When I tell you I already knew what was about to come out of her mouth, she goes, that must mean that we are compatible biologically. That's like a clue that our pheromones are attracted to each other. I'm like, what did you say? And he is into it. Okay, he's into it.
Sometimes when I'm reacting to this type of videos, I forget because I get too engrossed and too baffled by what's happening out there in the dating world nowadays that I forget to actually properly analyze and tell you what is happening and help you read the situation properly. So this man here at this point, when this is all happening and unfolding, and the woman is literally not just flirting with him, but being sexual, because this is abnormal now. It's not her trying to be romantic anymore. They've done all that already within the first 5 seconds. Now they moved to something more physical. It's just turned out to be something very weird. And again, it's happening on his first date with this other girl. So let's talk about the guy, the man in this scenario. Why isn't he saying anything? Why isn't he doing anything? Why isn't he trying to save his date with the girl that he took on a date to begin with? Meaning this girl, the girl telling us the story. Because at this point, clearly he can see that she's never going to see him again, because this is too embarrassing. This is too much. You're not going to allow another woman to touch you and put her nose, her face in your hair. You're not going to allow all that. If you're truly interested in your date, the woman you took out, you're going to think and you're going to know as an adult, as a grown up, that it's inappropriate. So let's talk about the man. Let's talk about why he's allowing all this. At this point, clearly, the guy already decided that this perfect stranger, that this new girl that just showed up is more important or more interesting, or call it whatever you want. He's clearly more interested in this perfect stranger. He wants to be with her instead. He's entertained by her presence. He's happy that she thinks he's special. His hair smells nice. That's why I always say that men like to feel special. We forget that because we focus on making women feel special. But if you make a man feel special, if you give him one compliment, perhaps two, don't overdo it. Don't be just complimenting him and adopting some type of masculine energy. That's not what I mean. If you make a man feel special, sometimes you can quickly turn him into a child, someone who's happy, secure, feeling comfortable. He can do so much for you just because you made him feel special. So obviously, this guy is leaning towards the stranger. He's more attracted or interested, or whatever you want to call it now, in that perfect stranger now. The tables have turned, and he would rather not offend or upset this perfect stranger now rather than worry about his date and worry about her feelings instead. Why? Simply because this perfect stranger showed up and she's making him feel special. I'm not saying that you should be this forward with a man all the time on a first date, and you should act like this if you like him or if he wants him to get interested in you. I'm just saying that this woman knew what she was doing, and clearly she's doing all this. She's being this forward. She's touching the man just to try and offend his date or enter in a competition with her or win him over. At this point, I personally believe it's more about offending and annoying the woman rather than being interested in the man himself, because most women don't act this forward on a first date, even when they are the girl that has been asked out.
Now, I know you might be thinking, like, why did you stay in this situation? Like, why didn't you get up and leave and just walk away? The truth is I was so entertained by the fact that this was happening in front of me on a first date, and it was being allowed and continued to happen right in front of me on a first date, that I just had to stay for the plot. So at the end of the day, this man splits the bill. And let me just tell you, we were in Bali. Our breakfast in total cost about maybe $12.
Here you go. The fact that he split the bill and it was such a small amount anyway tells me and confirms that this guy knew that he was not going to see your face again. He knew how embarrassing this entire thing must have been for you, and he already cut his losses. He already decided you're not worth even that little cost that he would pay to cover the entire bill. And he decided, okay, I'm not going to see her again. May as well split the bill with her. I'm more interested in the other girl. And I'm guessing that they stayed in touch somehow. He must have taken her, I don't know, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever people do these days, her phone number, something. And even if it was not in front of his date, they must have found a way to do it.
For both of our meals. He splits it with me, which I'm like, look, you didn't have to do that. Like, I didn't think that there was, like, I got it. But he splits the bill. And then the woman at our table asks for his phone number. And he gives it to her. And then they hug goodbye. Love it.
Well, they turned out to be even more shameless than I anticipated. And apparently, she asked for his phone number right in front of his date. She took it. And like I said, they stayed in touch. He's more interested in that girl because she showed him that he's special and she stole him literally from his date, his original date. If you are a single woman that is dating strategically and actively, and you hope to find your potential husband and the most suitable match and life partner for yourself specifically within 6 months to 12 months, then I invite you to join my community. You will find a program that will help you achieve just that and hopefully meet your potential soulmate within a year. Ideally, you will find the link for my community in the description box under this video, and you will find the program I just spoke about in the classroom section. But for now, I will say don't forget to subscribe. You take care of yourself, and I will see you there.